Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? It is insane stuff. You know what's also pretty insane? Of course, we get to go to Libby Watson for this. Less than 2 weeks ago, amid the pandemic and the explosion of demonstrations against the police violence across the country, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton unveiled a shocking bill that went largely unnoticed. It was called the Secure Campus Act and was billed ban Chinese students from receiving visas to participate in graduate or postgraduate STEM programs. A month earlier on Fox News, Cotton said it was a scandal that we have trained so many of the Chinese Communist Party's brightest minds to go back to China. Studies show that, of course, most Chinese students remain in the United States after graduation, no small feat, given how hostile and baffling the U.S. immigration apparatus is. Cotton said that Chinese students should only be able to study things like Shakespeare and the Federalist Papers, all that stuff. In the U.S., adding they don't need to learn quantum computing. Because, of course, again, like, this is the exact same, like, stupid paranoid logic that got us into, like, interning Japanese people, is the fact that every single of the 1 million people in China, they're all going to go back and work for the Chinese Communist Party. Like, what are you talking about? It is... Yeah, I mean, the bill is clearly also fascist and racist. It's designed to whip up fury about Chinese people punishing students who come here for completely legitimate reasons and whose contributions to America and to human progress are obviously very valuable. And, of course, he then decided to publish in the New York Times an op-ed section titled, "Send in the Troops." This is a senator who, by all supported standards of liberal media, should be ostracized, even without calling for the military to restore order to the streets. As far as I can tell, the Times did not even write about Cotton's bill when it was released. The Cotton's op-ed did, however, make assertions that the paper's reporting had already been proven false. A senator pushing the Chinese Exclusion Act 2.0 should not be James Bennett's first call. Of course, James Bennett is the editor of the opinion page. If he thinks that the section has so far been too biased in favor of the right to protest. Yet here Cotton is, in the page of the paper over the record, on the 31st anniversary of the beginning of the Tiananmen Square massacre, arguing for the president to take the side of the famous, or infamous, in his mind, I should say, Communist Party of China and start using military force against protesters in the streets. Like, maybe some of the best and brightest minds are at it again, Tom. Like, this is just, how can anyone, like, think like this? And, of course, there literally was an open rebellion. There was an open rebellion in the pages, in the Twitter accounts of the people of the New York Times. This is obviously just a psycho idea. Yeah, the News Guild, which represents the Times staff and also a staff of the New Republic, this is Libby Watson's paper, released a statement condemning the decision to publish the piece. Many staffers tweeted a variation on the sentiment that publishing the op-ed puts black Times staffers or black people in general in danger. Usually, public criticism of a bad Times op-ed from regular offenders like Brett Stevens or Barry Weiss is limited to cryptic subtweets. There was a reason for this, of course. The Times essentially forbids staff from criticizing the opinion columnists, particularly for the news side. Last year, the Times executive editor Dean McKay told his newsroom that people retweeting or even simply liking tweets critical of the paper was really painful for him. That guy is so... Oh my gosh. He's one of the most annoying people in the world. I'm just going to go a little bit of a side diatribe about this guy, Dean McKay. He's like tries to be so like metaphysical. It's like, because he's kind of one of the pioneers of what I call time speak, which is like, here at the Times, we take our coverage very seriously because we're about holding the powerful to the fire. We here at the Times, this is what we like to do at the Times. It's just kind of stuff like that. It's very like kind of soft voiced, like it's like we like to provide insightful commentary about the world around you, like that kind of stuff. Like it's this whole kind of like patting ourselves on the back for what we do and using these deep adjectives and calling rooms spaces, like that kind of stuff is it's pioneered so well by Dean McKay, and him being like, it was really painful for me to see our employees actually express their minds in the ways that they're like kind of paid to do. But yeah, this was after the paper's editor, Jonathan Weissman, actually tweeted an embarrassing thread that implied Representatives Illinois and Rashida Tlaib were not really from the Midwest. Obviously, certain people are given more leeway to tweet stuff that quote-unquote hurts the paper. Last night, a former climate reporter for the Times, Kendra Pierre-Louis, revealed that if you're in a New York Times employee and tweet something about Brett Stevens that he doesn't like, he will take the tweet and complain about it to your manager, which is absolutely mind-bogglingly insane. The fact that these people have so much power, nobody likes them, and there are no people like them that believe that stuff in the country. Like, they're the only ones. It's a very, very small fraction of people, the smallest fraction of our political pie. Because you have Trump supporters, you have a large chunk of people who just have tuned out of politics entirely, and then you kind of have the Democrats, the liberals, the Bernie supporter people. And then you have kind of a little mouth-sized sliver of pie is the people who are they would like Trump, except for the fact that he has like a few character flaws. But they pretty much like Trump with everything else that he does. Those are what we call never Trump conservatives. And they are literally 5 people. But 3 of the 5 people are on TV and in very, very prominent media positions. And 2 of them are Barry Weiss and Brad Stevens. And like, that is the craziness of the fact that they are so far in the opinion section. And they rule over journalists who do really, really good work in the New York Times and are paid so much money to write actual crap. Not even like in like crazy commentary that even if you're like you disagree, it's like it's fun to read. No, this stuff is boring. This stuff is like so pompously written. It's just awful and disgusting in every way, shape, or form. The fact that they turn around and do that is really kind of insane. James Bennett, who's of course Michael Bennett's brother, rarely tweets himself. He publicly defended the decision to publish the op-ed with a familiar and incoherent line that publishing itself is a way to ensure the public scrutiny and debate of Cotton's views. Of course, we would never been able to find those views anyway else. We just had to give him the platform to debate them. Like, this is, again, complete New York Times thing. And, again, this is the question I like to ask. If you're so desperate to publish literally openly fascistic propaganda, why don't you publish someone from anybody left of, like, Bernie Sanders or Pramila Jayapal? No, you don't, because that is like actually threatens power, that actually threatens capital and stuff like that. But not this stuff. Like, this stuff you're happy to print and even happy to tacitly endorse, which says a lot more about the state of liberal media than what we I think have previously known. All right, that's all I got for you today. This has been Newsflash. We will be talking about that interesting. I'm about to go release it, put it out there right now. Go listen to it. We're talking Too Hot to Handle this week with Susanna Langan, and we will have a new episode of Uncultured for you either Friday or Saturday, but probably Saturday. So see you then.